Now coming to next lecture, that is memory and IO bus, right? IO bus or IO buses, right? Now under 8085 architecture, we have seen three buses. What are those? We have seen address bus, nothing but address lines which is used to communicate between your microprocessor or the memory. And next we have seen data bus, right? Nothing but the data lines which is used to carry the 8-bit data for your 8085 microprocessor. After that we have seen control bus, right? Now which is used to control the read operation and write operation. We have seen ALE signal also, right? All this we have seen under your 8085 microprocessor, right? Now these three buses together, right? What are those three buses? Address bus, data bus and control bus, right? Now these three buses together, we are connecting the external memory and external IO devices to the microprocessor, right? Now what are those? Let us see one by one, right? Now these three buses, what are those three buses? Address bus, data bus and control bus, right? Now these three buses are used to communicate your microprocessor with the memory and also communicate with the microprocessor with the IO devices connected to it, right? Now the three buses together, when it is communicating with your memory and a microprocessor, nothing but the system bus, right? When it is communicating a microprocessor with the IO devices, nothing but IO bus, right? Now let us see in brief description, right? Now coming to first bus, that is system bus or memory bus, right? Now what it is, let us see. A memory bus, this is also called as system bus, right? A memory bus, this is also called as system bus, right? Now what is a bus? It is used to transfer information from one place to another place, right? Now the memory bus is also called as the system bus. Now this bus which makes a connection between the CPU, right, and the main memory of the computer, right? Nothing but this bus which is used to connect connection between your microprocessor and the memory, right? Now the particular bus which is used to connect a microprocessor with the memory, that particular bus we call it as memory bus, right? Memory bus or system bus, right? Next we have IO bus, input output bus, right? Now we have microprocessor. Now this can be connected to input device or output device, IO device, input device or output device, right? IO bus are responsible for connecting the peripheral devices to the microprocessor, right? IO bus, now this we call it as IO bus, right? This we call it as IO bus that makes a connection between your microprocessor and input output devices like keyboard, right? Keyboard, through keyboard you are providing input, and similarly through mouse you are providing input. Now output devices like monitor, through which you are getting the output, and you have scanner, right? All these are your output devices, right? Now this set of input or output, these are also called as peripheral devices. Peripheral devices or IO devices, both are same, right? Now when a particular bus is making a connection between your microprocessor and the IO devices such as keyboard, mouse or monitor or scanner, right, that particular bus we call it as IO bus, right? Now how this connection is nothing but interfacing, right? How this connection is done between your microprocessor and the memory, and how this connection is done between your microprocessor and IO devices, we will see later, right? Now let me briefly explain again, right? A microprocessor contains three types of buses. Under 8085 we have seen it contains three types of buses. Now address bus, that is used to carry the address, and next we have seen data bus, that is used to carry the data, which is an 8-bit data for your 8085 microprocessor. Next you have control bus, right? Now the control bus is nothing but which is used to carry the control signals like read signal, write signal, IO/memory signal, right? All these control signals, control information is transferred from your microprocessor to the connected device, right? Now all these set of three buses, right? We have seen three buses, right? Now through these three buses we can connect the microprocessor to the external memory and microprocessor to the IO devices, right? Now the memory bus is nothing but the nothing but it is also called as system bus, which makes a connection between your microprocessor and the memory, right? Which makes a connection between your, see, this includes address bus together, address bus, data bus and control bus, right? These three buses together is used to make a connection between your microprocessor and the memory. That's why these three buses together, when these three buses are used to make a connection between your microprocessor and memory, we call this as memory bus or system. Similarly, when these three signals are used to make a connection between your microprocessor and IO devices, it is called as IO bus. Based on the connection between your microprocessor and the IO devices, these particular three buses together we are calling it as memory bus, and otherwise we are calling it as IO bus, right? Now a microprocessor contains three buses. One is used to carry the addresses, that is nothing but address bus, and next bus which is used to carry the data, that is nothing but data bus, and next one which is used to carry the control signals like read operation, write operation, and IO, whether it is an IO operation or memory operation, all this control information is carried through control bus, right? Now coming to memory bus, through which bus you are making a connection between, right? Memory bus or the system bus, which is used to make a connection between your microprocessor and the memory. Since you are making the connection between your microprocessor and the memory, it is called as memory bus, right? Since you are making the connection between your IO devices and a microprocessor, right? IO devices and microprocessor, that's why it is called IO bus, right? Now you don't get confused, you have total 5 buses, right? Memory bus is nothing but combination of these three buses only. IO bus is combination of these three buses only. Only the difference is you are making connection between whether it is to a memory or whether it is through the IO device. If these three buses are used to connect a microprocessor to the memory, we are calling it as memory bus. If these three buses are used to make a connection between your microprocessor and IO devices, it is called as IO bus, right? Only the difference is connecting device, whether it is memory or whether it is IO device. If you are using these three buses in order to make a connection between your microprocessor and the memory, we call this as memory bus. If you are using these three buses in order to make a connection between your microprocessor and the IO devices, it is called as IO bus, right? Now the memory bus or the system bus is used to make a connection between your microprocessor and the memory, and the IO bus which is used to make a connection between your microprocessor and the IO devices like keyboard, mouse, monitor or the scan, right? Now this is about the introduction of memory bus and IO bus, right? Next we will see the interfacing part, how to connect this microprocessor to the memory, external memory, and how to connect your microprocessor to the external IO devices. Next we will see the interfacing part. Now what is mean by interface? Let us know the meaning of interface before going to interfacing part. Now the interface is nothing but the path for communication between two components, right? If you see this, now let us assume have two components, microprocessor and the memory. Now these are the two components that you want to communicate with each other, right? Microprocessor and the memory are the two components that you want to communicate with each other, right? Either to read the data or to write the data. Communication is nothing but either microprocessor want to read the data from the memory or the microprocessor want to write the data to the memory, right? Now in order to communicate these two components, you have to connect these two, right? Nothing but interface is the path for communication between two components. What is mean by interface? It is the path for communication, right? It is the path for communication between two components, right? It is the path for communication between two components. This we call it as interface, right? Now similarly, now let us assume I want to communicate microprocessor and IO devices, any IO device, any input or output device. Now in order to communicate your microprocessor with the IO devices or IO devices with the microprocessor, I have to connect these two, right? I have to interface your microprocessor with the IO devices. In order to communicate your processor with the IO devices, in order to communicate your microprocessor with the IO devices, I have to interface your microprocessor with the IO device. Nothing but I have to make a path, right? Just meaning is that, see, you have two places. Now let us assume you have two different places. Now a person want to travel from this place to this place, right? Now a person want to travel from this place to this place. How he will travel? He will travel through road, right? Now that road is nothing but your interfacing, right? That road is nothing but your interfacing. It is the path for communication between two components. I have given basic example. See, if a person want to travel from one place to another place, he can travel by car through roadway, right? Through roadway. That roadway path, right? That roadway path is nothing but interfacing of from one place to another place. In the same way, now I want to communicate your microprocessor with your IO devices. Now in order to communicate these two components, I have to make a path. This particular path is nothing but your interfacing. Interfacing is a path for communication between two components, right? Now here you have two different types of interfacing, right? Now here you have two different types of interfacing. One is memory interfacing. Now one is memory interfacing and another one is IO interfacing, right? Interfacing is nothing but a path for communication between two components, right? Here have two different types of interfacing under your microprocessor. One is interfacing your memory, right? Interfacing your memory microprocessor with the memory. That is nothing but I will draw example block diagram here. Now the microprocessor is interfaced with the memory, that we call it as memory interfacing. Now the microprocessor is interfaced with the IO devices, right? IO devices, that is nothing but IO interfacing, right? Now this is about the basic introduction about the interfacing, right? Now the memory bus, I will give a brief explanation again. Now the memory bus is nothing but, it is also called as system bus, which makes a connection between the memory and the microprocessor. Memory bus is nothing but a system bus which is used to make a connection between the memory and the microprocessor. Now similarly IO bus, now this is used to make a connection. IO bus, this is used to make a connection between your microprocessor and peripheral devices or IO devices, that may include keyboard or mouse or monitor or scanner. That is about memory bus and IO bus, right? Now this particular path, right? This particular path is nothing but the interface. Interface is nothing but the path between two components that is used for communication, right? Now if you see this path, now this is the path for communication between these two components. If you see this is the path for communication between the microprocessor and the memory. That's why this is called as interfacing, right? Now the interfacing is categorized into two types. One is memory interfacing and another one is IO interfacing, right? Now the under memory interfacing, you are connecting microprocessor with the external memory. Under IO interfacing, you are interfacing your microprocessor with the IO devices such as keyboard or mouse or scanner or monitor, right? Now this is about the basic explanation. Now let us go for memory interfacing, right? Now let us discuss about memory interfacing, right? Now why this is required? You may get a doubt. Why to interface your microprocessor with the memory, right? You may get a doubt, right? Now when we are executing any instruction, right? Let us assume we have written some code, some assembly language programming. Now when we are executing those set of instruction, now we need the microprocessor to access the memory, right? Now because the data is stored in the memory. In order to access the data, we have to interface your microprocessor with the memory, right? Now when we are executing any instruction, we need the microprocessor to access the memory for reading the instruction codes or the data stored in the memory. For this purpose, we are interfacing your microprocessor with the memory, right? This is the basic advantage to interface with your, this is the basic reason I can say, this is the basic reason in order to interface your microprocessor with the memory, right? Now in order to read the data from the memory, we will use read signal, as you know. In order to write the data, we will use write signal. Since it is from the memory, see you have pin IO slash memory bar, right? You have pin under your block pin diagram of 8085, right? Whether this pin will state whether it is an input output operation or memory operation, right? Now for logic 0, it indicates it is an memory operation. For logic 1, it indicates it is an input output operation, right? Now why to interface your microprocessor with the memory? See, I have written some basic instruction, right? Now while executing this set of instruction, now I want to, nothing but microprocessor want to read instruction codes and data from memory, right? Now these are the set of assembly language instruction I have written, right? Now while executing this instruction, there is a need for the microprocessor to read instruction codes and data from the memory, right? Now for this purpose, we will interface your microprocessor with the memory. This is the basic reason to interface your microprocessor with the memory, right? Now for this, both the memory and microprocessor will require some signals such as IO slash memory bar, right? This will be always logic 0 since it is a memory interfacing and nothing but the memory operation. In order to read the data, we have to use read signal, and in order to write the data, we have to use write signal, right? In order to read the data, we have to use read signal. Now similarly, in order to write the data, we have to use write signal, right? For reading the data, it should be logic 0. For writing the data, it should be logic 0, because those read signals and write signals are active low signals, right? Now this is the basic reason why to interface your microprocessor with the memory, because while executing some set of instruction, right, microprocessor wants to, now the microprocessor requires to read the instruction codes and the data from the memory. For this basic purpose, we have to interface your microprocessor with the memory. Now in order to do this, we require three signals. One is IO slash memory bar. This is always logic 0 because this is an memory operation, right? In order to read the data, right, we will use read signal, and that should be active low for reading purpose. And in order to write the data, we will use write signal, and that should be active low since that should be 0 for writing the data, right? Now this is the basic reason to interface your microprocessor with the memory, right? Now we will see how to interface, right? As I have said, the basic reason, with that basic reason we will interface your microprocessor with the memory chip, right? Memory chip, right? After that, I will give an problematic format, then you will come to know how to interface your microprocessor with the memory chip, right? Now this is your 8085 microprocessor, right? Now what are the three signals that are required to interface with your 8085 with the memory chip? The one is IO slash memory bar, and another one is read signal, and another one is write signal, right? Now how many address lines are there? Total A15 to A0. Now the data lines are D0 to D7, right? Always address lines are required to carry the address, and data lines are used to carry the 8-bit data since it is an 8085 microprocessor. Now besides this, IO slash memory bar, right? Now this includes this specifies whether it is an IO operation or memory operation, right? Now in order to read the data we will use read signal, and in order to write the data we will use write signal, right? Now these are the signals that are required in order to interface your microprocessor with the memory chip, right? You have to listen carefully, because in the next coming after this I will give an problematic form. I will give a statement. Using that statement you have to interface your 8085 with the memory chip. Memory I will mention, right? These control signals you have to remember. What are the control signals that are required for the interfacing pass? You have to remember. What are those? It requires address lines A0 to A15, and it requires data lines, that is D0 to D7. Now next it requires IO/memory pin. Now this specifies whether it is an IO operation or memory operation. After that, read signal and write signal, right? Read signal and write signal, right? Now this you know about your 8085. Now coming to memory chip, what it contains, right? Coming to memory chip, what it contains, right? Now same like your, now in order to, first the chip has to be selected. In order to interface, first the chip has to be selected, right? Now the memory chip contains CS bar, chip selection pin, right? Memory chip contains CS bar or CE bar, both are same, right? Some memory chips contains CS, nothing but chip selection, and some memory chips contains CE, nothing but chip enable, right? Now these two are active low signal, right? These two are active low signal. Now this indicates memory chip is, when it is active low, nothing but 0, this indicates memory chip is ready for communication with the microprocessor, right? Memory chip, first in order to communicate, first this chip has to be selected. Now that is done by CS bar, chip selection, right? When it is active low, nothing but 0, now that indicates memory chip is ready for communication with the microprocessor, right? When CS bar is 0, memory chip is ready for communication with the microprocessor. Now similarly you have output enable or read signal, right? Output enable or read signal, same like your 8085 operation, only for reading the data, right? And next you have write enable or write signal, right? Write enable or write signal. Now this is used for writing the data. Only the thing is, before communication you have to select the chip. Before interfacing you have to select the chip by making CS bar to 0. When it is 0, the particular memory chip is ready for communication with the microprocessor, right? The particular memory chip is ready for the communication with the microprocessor, right? Now all the address lines A15 to A0 are connected to your memory chip, right? All the address lines are connected to your memory chip, right? Similarly data lines are, now these are unidirectional, data lines are bidirectional, right? Data lines are bidirectional and address lines are unidirectional, right? Now next we have CS bar, right? Chip selection, right? Now this you have to make it as 0. How to make it as 0 we will see under problematic form, right? Now next we have read signal, right? Read signal you can't connect directly to read, right? Now similarly write signal you can't connect directly to write, right? There is some process, right? What is that process? Let us see, right? Now IO/memory bar should be always logic 0. Why? Because it is an memory interfacing, nothing but memory operation. Now for reading the data, RD bar should be 0, right? Now for writing the data, WR bar should be 0, right? Now using these 3 signals, you have 3 different control signals. Now I will generate only 2 signals. One is memory read, one is memory write, right? Now what is that? Let us see, right? You have IO, I am drawing the circuit here, right? Next first we have, now this is your IO/memory bar, right? Now this is buffered, right? And next we have RD bar, this is also inverted, and next we have write bar, Now this is also invert, right? Now if I connect memory with read, right? Now these two are AND gated, right? These two are AND gated to get the signal memory read. Now this is an active low signal, right? Now similarly, memory signal IO/memory and write signal are AND gated to get the signal memory write, right? Now this is an active low signal, right? Now this circuit has to be connected over here, right? This circuit has to be connected over here. For read operation, you have to connect this circuit to the read signal. For write operation, you have to connect this circuit to the write signal, right? Now I have only one circuit is possible. At a time both are not possible, right? Now I want memory read, right? Now I want memory read. This is active low. Now the read signal is also active low. Now these are AND gated and this is connected to read signal, right? Now this is interfacing between your 8085 with the memory chip for memory read signal. When it is memory write, you can, this is active low and this is active low and gated and connected to, right? Now this is 0 0, right? When it is 0 0, output is 1 1, right? When it is 1 1 and this is 1 1, it is logic 1, right? When it is 1 1, it is logic 1, right? Now this should be NAND gate, and for NAND gate it is 0, right? And for NAND gate it is 0, right? If it is AND gate, you are getting reverse, just reverse it, invert it. NAND gate, right? Both the outputs are inverted, given to the NAND gate and connected to the read signal, right? Now this is interfacing of your 8085 with the memory chip for reading purpose. Now similarly for writing purpose, what is the circuit? I am drawing here only, right? Now this should be active low, right? And the write signal should be active low. These are NAND gated, right? And connected to read signal, right? This is at a time two operations are not possible, right? Either you can read the data or you can write the data, right? At a time two operations are not possible. Now the left out part is chip selection, that has to get logic 0. How you will get logic 0? We will see under problematic form, right? Now let me briefly explain again. Now why you are going for memory interfacing? See, while writing a set of instruction, now when now let us assume I have written some program, right? What the microprocessor has to do, it has to execute that program, right? Now while executing the set of instruction, microprocessor has to read the data and read the instruction codes from the memory, right? In order to read the instruction codes and in order to read the data from the memory, it has to interface with the memory. Microprocessor has to interface with the memory. For that interfacing purpose, we require three signals. One is IO/memory signal, read signal and write signal, right? Now how to interface? Address lines are connected to the address lines, data lines are connected to the memory chip, right? Now what are the three signals? IO/memory bar, read signal and write signal. You can do two operations, memory read operation or memory write operation. When we require memory read operation, this is the circuit that has to connected to read signal, right? Now when we require memory write operation, now this is the circuit that has to connected to write signal. Now the how to CS bar is nothing but chip selection. Now when it is logic 0, this particular memory chip is ready for communication with the microprocessor. How to select the chip, we will see later, right? Now this is the basic introduction of memory interfacing, right? I will give one problem, then you will have a clear idea about this memory interfacing, right? Now interface 1 kilobyte of memory, 1 kilobyte memory with address range 1 kilobyte memory with address range 1000H, nothing but hexadecimal, to 1355H, right? Now the memory is given, right? Memory is given and the address is given, right? Now 1 kilobyte of now solution, right? Now you will have a clear idea of memory interface, right? Now 1 kilobyte of memory, right? Now this is nothing but 2 power 10, right? 2 power 10, this is nothing but 1024 bytes of memory, right? 1024 bytes of memory, right? Now how many address lines? 10. 2 power n. How to calculate memory? 2 power address lines, right? Now the number of address lines. How many address lines? 10, right? 2 power address lines will give you the memory of a microprocessor, right? Now the number of address lines are 10. Now those are A9 to A0, right? Those are A9 to A0, right? Those are A9 to A0, right? And number of data lines are 8. It will remain same. Number of data lines are 8, that is D0 to D7 or D7 to D0, right? Now the memory is given, right? 2 power address line will give you the memory. Now once the memory is given, you can find out the number of address lines. 2 power 10 is nothing but 1 kilobyte of memory. Now that is nothing but 10 address lines, right? Now the number of data lines, it will remain same, that is D0 to D7, right? Now how many address lines are there for your 8085 microprocessor? A15 to A0, right? I am representing here A14, A13, A12, A11, A10, A9, A8, A7, A6, A5, A4, A3, A2, A1 and A0, right? Now these are the address lines for your 8085 microprocessor, right? Given in problem, that is address range should be 100H to 13FFH, right? 100H to 13FFH. Now represent this in binary form, right? Represent this in binary form, right? Now binary form, how you will represent hexadecimal in binary form? 4-bit form, right? First one is 1, that is 0001, and all are zeros, all are 0, right? Now this is about first address representation, right? And next we have 13FFH, right? Represent in 4-bit form, nothing but binary form. 0001, 0011, right? 13, FF is all ones, right? FF is all one, right? Now the number of address lines are required only till here, A0 to A9, right? Now A0 to A9 are required for interfacing, right? A0 to A9 are required for interfacing. Now the left out address lines A10 to A15, right? These are used for chip selection. These are used for chip selection, CS bar, right? Chip selection for your memory chip, right? This is how to select a chip, right? Now that should be logic 0 because it is an active low signal, right? Now let us interface, right? Let us interface. Now this is the microprocessor and this is the memory chip, right? This is the microprocessor and this is the memory chip, right? Now you have A15, right? A15 is logic 0, right? A15 is logic 0, right? Now this is inverted, right? Now A14 is also logic 0. This is also inverted. Now A13 is also logic 0. This is also inverted. Now A12 is 1 direct connection and A11 is logic 0, right? Now this is also inverted. Now A10 is also logic 0, this is also inverted, right? Now all these signals are right. Now this is 0 0 0 1 0 0, right? Now here you are making all high, all signals are high. When all signals are high, what is AND operation? High, right? AND operation is high. When it is NAND, logic 0, right? Logic 0, right? Now this is connected to chip selection, right? Chip selection, you will get this as logic 0, right? Now the chip is selected. Now the chip is selected, right? And next A0 to A9, right? A0 to A9, A8 to A9 are connected. Now we have multiplexed AD0 to AD7, right? Now these are connected to the memory chip, right? And next we have IO/memory bar and read signal and write signal. Similarly you have read signal and write signal, right? If it is memory read, this should be active low and read signal should be active low. These are NAND gated and connected to read signal. If it is memory write, this with write signal, right? This with write signal inverted, NAND gated and connected to write signal, right? Now this is about interfacing of 8085 with the memory chip, right? Now I will give you one assignment on Saturday with this description. You have to complete it, right? Now let me briefly explain. Interface 1 kilobyte memory with the address range, this thing, right? 1000H to 13FFH, right? Now the memory is given 1 kilobytes of memory, right? Now 2 power address lines will give you the memory. Now memory is given, you can calculate address lines, that is nothing but 10. A0 to A9 are used as address lines between your memory chip and microprocessor. Now the remaining address lines of microprocessor are used for selecting the memory chip, right? Now this you have represented, and all logic, right, you have to represent in 4-bit form. Memories you have to represent in 4-bit binary form, right? A0 to A9 are used for address, carrying the address between the microprocessor and the memory chip, and A10 to A15, right, whether it is logic 0, that is, right, where it should be inverted and NAND gated and connected to the CS bar. A0 to A9, these are used for transferring the communicating your memory chip with the microprocessor, whether it is address or the data. If it is memory read, both should be inverted, NAND gated and connected to read signal. If it is memory write, this and write signal should be inverted, NAND gated and connected to write signal, right? Now this is the basic operation of interfacing of your microprocessor with the memory, right? In next lecture we will see the interfacing of IO devices with the memory, right? In next lecture we will see the interfacing of IO devices with the memory, right? Thank you.